Hello and welcome along and welcome back to Geiselsberg here on the PS4. We are on day 4 and we've got a couple of fields left to plant today. So if we have a quick look at the map, we are over here. We've got fields 40, 39 and 38 to do. So we're going to be planting, we've got corn, we've got oats, and we have canola to plant. So I think we're going to put corn in field 40, canola in 38, and the oats in 39, because we already have a field of wheat that we can get straw off as well. So that makes sense to me. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off field 40. We're going to start in one of these. We're going to start in the one that will do corn, which is this one. Start this up. Like so. And yeah, get started on our little massey to begin with. Because that is the one we can do the corn in. So we'll switch over to that. And getting the corn in this means that we're going to be in a position where we can I can't remember what the refill is. Okay, so I've found out what it is. I have to, with this particular seeder, I have to turn it on for it to start filling, which is a little bit weird. But we can start filling, so yeah, that's a little bit weird. So start filling with L3, and away we go. And it doesn't take much to get it to fill, but it's just, yeah, a little bit odd that it takes that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on down here on field 40, what are we? Field 40, exactly. And we're going to do this little bit at the bottom here to start us off. Our other two fields are a little bit smaller. And it is just a case of we are in this position where we want to get everything sort of seeded and done today. So we're going to do that. Let's back this up. Now, I think there's an issue with my foot pedals, actually, at the moment. Seems to not completely pull off most of the time. I've got my beacon on. We'll turn that off. There we go. And yeah, now we are nicely seeding along the edge here. Now, this field is not quite straight, and I've said this before with this map. I think this map is better suited, to be honest, to PC play. It works great on console, don't get me wrong, but your fields are not square. They've got very small borders between them. It would work well for a game that wasn't so reliant on square fields. And I can understand why a lot of good console maps, really good console maps, have the square fields and go with that setup. And it's simply because it is just better for consoles to have that square field setup. It's workable without it, don't get me wrong, but at the same time I'm finding it harder to do a map like this on console than I would on PC. And that's something that I'm finding very interesting is having this contrast between the two as we're going through this series. It's going to be very interesting to see how it affects doing the harvest later on. I think harvest will be less affected by it. I think it's field work that is hit harder by this. But it's yeah, it's an interesting contrast between the two. Now we're going to have to square this off at some point because I'm going to want to have this going with the hired worker straight across the field. And of course, the angle that we're currently doing this at does not allow for that. So that won't be possible going forward. But we can flatten this out a bit and just make this a little bit straighter. Probably should go back and get that little bit I've missed on the previous row. So we might go back and do that in a minute. But it's yeah, it seems to be working okay now. I am miffed that you have to turn this on to refill it. that is something that has weirded me out slightly. Let's go again. There we go. Down. This is all part of our crop rotation. So we have a 5 crop rotation on this map. We are running oats, wheat. We were originally going to run barley, but we're running wheat, oats, wheat, corn, and oats, wheat, corn, canola, and sunflowers. All of which are harvestable by our combine. So that cuts down the need for any extra stuff. What I am hoping for, because we're running, I think we're running 6-day seasons. If we have a bad spell of rain later in the season, we are going to be a little bit in trouble. It's a lot of stuff to harvest. And we're going to need a good summer to do it. Right, let's start off our hired worker. So that is that done, and yeah, the corn can now be planted. So we'll leave that to go, and we are going to head over to this one, which similarly needs to be done. Now this, I know this one to fill up, we have to open the that like that, and that should now mean that we can easily drive past and get this refilled on our way. And we're going to start with oats in this. So we're going to do field 39. We're going to do a small field of oats with that. It is going to be fairly swift to do, I think. Right, let's try refilling this. Yeah, there we go. So that was much, much easier. Whoa, the cars on here are really fast. So we're going to head over to field 39, and we're going to do all of field 39 ourselves. So I will probably cut through it and get that sorted. Now it's got a straighter edge along this side here. So that is the best way for us to go. I'm just looking at field 38. We're going to have to do a little bit of work on that. So yeah, that is going to need doing. Oats into here. That's all good. And that's almost the first row done. It's got this little uptick at the end here, and despite its appearance on the map, it's not quite a straight field. And this is the thing with these two fields, and why I've considered merging them into one. And I think later on, we've still got 284,000 left of our original budget. But I think later on, when we get another field, we will probably end up merging these two fields into one, doing a bigger field from these two, and then going from there with them, simply because they are. It is a little bit of an odd-shaped field, this. It really is. I'm not quite sure why it's. You know, nothing on this map. I don't think a single field on this map is properly square. You've got a few that would work north-south, like 57, 56, and that down there. But I looking down at 33. Field 33 is not a north-south field. And they sort of start leaning to the left as you go further and further down there. And I think that's the case with most of them. And looking at most of the other fields on the map, same thing, is that none of them are an easy shape to get a hired worker to do properly. And it's one of the things that we've got with field 38. The reason why we need to go back and do that headland once the Massey's finished on field 40 is because the headlands areas are just not done, and we know we can't actually plant them in the way they are. So I'm not going to run over that tree. First round. So I really like this little Deutz as well, I should say. This is an absolutely cracking piece of kit. Oh. Yeah, working really, really well, this. So I'm going to get the rest of this planted, and we'll see whether we have enough oats make it through this. Whether we have enough corn seed to make it through field 40, which I very much doubt. And then we're going to go and sort field 38, ready for next time when we will get that planted with the canola, which is going to be our latest crop on the farm, which is odd because normally it's one of my earliest. So we're 71% left on this tank. I'm going to pop over to our Massey because it has run out of corn. So let's start the engine up. The hide worker has run off. We will get this refilled, and it's done about a quarter of the field, so I think this is going to take about 4 loads from this to get it done properly. We'll get this, as I said, we'll get this loaded up again. Wait, there we go, and bring this in. Loaded up this time without us needing to actually do that, without us needing to actually turn it on. I don't quite know why that. Maybe it only shows the help item if the if our seeder is started, but it's certainly refilled this time. So I need to remember that L3 is the button to refill. As I said, switching between PC and console, I get confused. Right, let's hire the worker again, and away they go. Perfect. So we will get back to our other tractor here, start her up, start this going, and get this field finished planting. Yeah, I think we're going to have enough oats to finish this field. I think we're going to be filling up the corn on the other field quite a bit in order to get that other field finished. Over halfway through this field now, and we have over half of our seed left, so we will make it the whole way through this field with this tractor. And I'm just sort of thinking and looking at my progress on it, and really going that my play style on PS4, I'm developing a very different play style to how I'm doing stuff on here compared to how I do on PC. Even with the same wheel and the same control panel setup and everything, it's still a very different setup. And I'm actually learning to use the controller less as I'm going as well. I've now learned how to access the shop through the control panel or through the panel. I've learned how to do various things that mean that the controller is becoming less and less important. When I'm on foot in the game, I'm still using the controller because it's just easier to navigate on foot with that. But yeah, in general, I'm on PC. I will go to the keyboard on a fairly regular basis. On console, I don't have that. You know, everything that is controllable via the wheel is also controllable via the controller, pretty much. So there's very little that I have to go elsewhere for. I think that the other thing that is different, that I rely a lot on PC that I can't do on console, is moving the camera around. So I'm forever moving the camera around with the mouse on PC, where again, not an option on PS4. So I tend to move my camera with the joystick on the side panel to where I want to be roughly, and leave it there. And it means that up and down on the roads, I tend to position it here where I can see and easily work out where I want to be and how well I'm seeding, and then just sort of leave it and let it go from there. As a result, I think something that would work really, really well on console, and I think is part of the reason maybe why we've seen an explosion of them, is this whole thing of time lapses. You could do a time lapse on console pretty effectively, I think, because you've not got that shifting around, that movement with the mouse, or you're not tempted with that movement of the mouse all the time. You're sort of positioning your camera where you want it, that allows the most effective play for you, and then you leave it there, and it's an enjoyable way to play because you're not got all that extra movement or extra stuff going on. So yeah, I think that's quite an interesting bit that I'm finding that the contrast between the two is really interesting to me at the moment, and I'm wondering what your feedback is. Let us know in the comments. You know, what do you think? Do you think my style of play is different here on PS4 compared to PC? There we go, and that is this field finished. Just about. There we go. So yeah, still got 26%. So there should be enough in here. Well, we will refill it. We'll refill it on the way back. Let's turn it off. And yeah, get it refilled on the way back, but we will drop it off fully filled because we are going to be using it on field 38. We'll also put the right crop in it, which is canola. Open it up. Bring it in. And refill it. There we go. I do like this that buy anywhere silo. Really, really good. I'm really pleased that that is on console as well as PC. Yeah, really useful piece of kit that. Right, I'm gonna bring this down here and we're just going to drop this off in our shed. I kind of like the idea of what we've got here. It's you know, it's like we've got an abandoned yard that's mainly unusable for people. We're able, so like an abandoned old freight yard or something, is the way I'm treating this. And what that means is that we sort of have to build around what's been abandoned and build our own stuff into there. Come on, there we go. Yeah, my accelerator pedal doesn't always release. I'm wondering if I've got an issue happening with it. And I wonder how easy it is to maybe get something like that fixed. Okay, so we're going to take this up and go and fix field 38. Running it 5 times, I think we're going to have time to do everything, and we'll just have to keep an eye on how things go. Up. And yeah, we're just gonna, so you can see this headland here needs sorting, and that will then prepare this field for next time. Does mean that we're sort of cultivating the headland, whereas the rest of the field being ploughed, but never mind. This tractor isn't quite powerful enough to run the plough. It will run this though, so that's why I'm doing this way. Cultivating this field would probably be a good idea ahead of that. But we don't have a cultivator. This, of course, is a subsoiler. And back. And one of the other things actually is once we get all of this done, we will be able to skip some days. So we'll be able to just sort of jump forward a bit to make sure that we are fully able to do everything we want. I'm not too worried about, you know, covering every single day on this. I think that would be something that we don't need to do. Okay, that has got this headland done. That's good. Let's head down the other end, because I'm betting if this end has some stuff to clean up, the other end probably has the same. And yeah, you can see what I mean about these two fields merging. I think we should merge these two in the long run. Our combine is going to make very, very short work of those oats, to be honest. How are we done this end? Oh no, this end we've actually done. We have actually cleaned this up. So that is all good. I'm going to get this back down to our farm then. 49 is massive. Field 50, not so much. That would be a good candidate then. Field 50. Right, so how is our other tractor doing? Yeah, that actually has a fair amount of seed in it still, by the looks of things. We'll go catch up with that. We'll go drop this off. Catch up with our other tractor. See where we are. And that will be good. And maybe we will use that for a little while, seeing as we're pretty much done with this one. I could go and actually I could go and get this working with the canola in that other field, and then that job is done. So I think we'll go and do that. There we go. Oh, reverse. Drop this off. We could actually store these two bits of kit outside, but we don't need to at the moment, so we'll take this over. And as I said, field 38, easiest thing for us to do is probably to set it going with the hired worker and leave that getting the canola in the ground, and then we can come back and we can check on the Massey, which must be getting to the point where it's empty again. I'd be amazed if that isn't getting low on seed. Canola, I think, is a smaller seed than oats, so the rate it does it at should mean that we end up with this whole, or with this seeder doing this whole field. Would surprise me if it didn't. Now I want to start, yeah, about here. So we're going to get the hired worker going on this straight away. But we have to, with the width that we've got on here, yeah, there we go. Our other tractor has stopped because it's empty. We are going to start this one running here. So, hire worker. And away they go, planting the canola. And we can then fill in this little bit here. I don't want to fill in this little bit here, or get the hired worker to do the bits to the right, because that field boundary there, that width of grass is not enough to stop the hired worker crossing into the other field. So we need to start this here and fill that bit in ourselves later, which is all well and good. So we are going to head over to here. Yeah, start this up. Oh no! It's run out of fuel. This happens to me way too often. So, we need to sort this out. We need to sort this out. We need a piece of fuel. We need something to fuel this tractor with. So, that is not going to be that way. We want to head back and bring up the shop. We're going to need something to pull that. So let's have a look. Pickup would be 30,000, so we can actually use the pickup, I think. The smallest tractor we can get our hands on that we have here. That little Fiat is 104. Oh no, that 78 horsepower. I think that, yeah, that little Fiat is the, oh, it's only 15,000. That would do us probably as a good little yard tractor. We've already got one of these, so I don't want to do that. It's 10. Yeah, I think we want to use this. Now, it's what we've got to use as a fuel trailer. I think if we look in MISC, we've got that. I'm hoping that little Fiat, Fiat is going to pull that. About 8,500. Change colour. We're going with Massey Ferguson red on this farm. Wheel brand. We want to have a look. There we go. Notkins or lizards. We will put the lizards on it. And we're going to buy that. Yes. Okay. Right. And then, yeah, we do need to have a little runaround tractor. So we're going to get ourselves for that money. We'll see what this little Fiat is like. It's not a huge amount of money lost if not. So let's have a look at our configuration for this. So what colours can we get this in? Oh, we can get it. Oh, yeah, there we go. That will do nicely. Configuration. Yeah, we're going to need a decent sized front weight. So let's check that. Yeah, there we go. 750 grams. Decals. 850 that way. Wait. Like so, that version or that version. I think I prefer at the front with beacon light. Yep, we want beacon lights. Engine setup. We can go up to 88 horsepower, which might be useful on the farm actually. And wheel setup. We can go narrows or standards. We'll go standards. We'll buy that. So 88 horsepower, roughly up there with our other tractors. Gives us a third tractor on the farm. And sets us up. Now, what's the fuel like? Fuel on that is fine. This is not so much. So let's zoom out. We've got to go and find a fuel station. There must be. Ah, yeah, there's one not too far from here. So let's go grab that. So hook up. Yeah, this is quite a big fuel trailer for this, but we've not got a fuel station on the farm, so having a fuel trailer is actually going to be fairly useful to us. Allows us to be a little bit more mobile with our fuel needs, and I think it's not too bad. We should be up here somewhere for fuel. I think is this fueled in a yard, maybe? Looks like it. Yeah. In here, by the looks of things. In this shed? Yes, in this shed here. That's interesting, because this is a sell point, I think. Can we refill? Yep, there we go. We are refilling. Oh, we are filling our trailer. So this is a sell point, isn't it? I think. In here, interesting place to purchase diesel. It's going to be a little while, so we'll do a cut here and back in a minute. Right, so we're at 50% full. I'm going to cancel it there. We don't need, that's 18,000 litres. Sorry, 1,800 litres. Oh, actually, nearly 1,900 looking at that. So we're not going to need more fuel than that. Our little Massey is not going to take more than that. And I don't want to strain our Fiat here too much. Now, I did try this Fiat out on PC, I think. Because this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one that was available as part of the mod contest. Now being released on console. I don't know how good it is inside. I think it has improved inside. It still looks a little bit low poly. The steering wheel certainly is not as round as I think I'd like to see it. You can see definitely where it's been low polyized, if that's even a word. Otherwise, it's okay. It's a nice little mod. This great if you're looking to run a few smaller tractors. I think this fits in there nicely, and as I said, will be a nice little yard tractor for us, and should work fairly well for what we're doing. So if we pull this upside, wow, it's tiny compared to that Massey. Absolutely tiny. That is incredible, the difference there. Right, so refill tractor. There we go. And we are also out of corn, so we will just take this back to the farm and get this refilled, and then we'll come back for our little Fiat. But that little Fiat is absolutely tiny. I'm amazed by that. Incredibly small biscuit. There we go. Off the field, up here. And again, we'll fill up the seed. This does not hold a lot of seed, and that's partly what is why we're having to refill so much. Right, and there we go, seeds in. Yeah, 240 litres of seed. It's really not much at all. I don't know how many litres of fuel this took. I don't think it was that much. We can check that actually when we jump back in the Fiat and get that out of the way. But I am loving using the smaller stuff, the smaller, older stuff on here. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really cool. Right, and set the hired worker off again. And we will switch over to this and get this out of the way. So yeah, we used 100 litres. We don't need a massive amount in this. 100 litres, yeah, covers us rather nicely. And we'll do a little bit of in-cab for a while. We've not done a lot of in-cab recently. And we can just put this back at our farm. So this will now basically be our fuel tank. I doubt we're going to use this fuel very quickly. Nope, double clicked. And we can park this up here. And then that will be out of the way. So I'm going to let those two tractors keep seeding for a while, and we'll catch up with them again when they get closer to finishing, I think, and see how we're doing. So our Deutz here is coming to the end of field 38. It's getting quite close to it now, to be honest. So I've taken control of it here. It's not a huge amount of field left to go. I mean, we've got the bit over the far side there that got left out, and we sort of set the hired worker off on. But you can see the hired worker has actually done left quite a bit on our headland here. It's sort of left a reasonable sized headland, and we can see it did it previously as well. So I am just going in and finishing off this little bit at the top here and doing a bit at the bottom. Interestingly, we still have 58% of the canola in here. As I was saying earlier, canola is a smaller seed than oat is, so I fully expected this to go further what we had in here. Amazingly, field 40, we're not quite at the end of it yet. Our Massey is still going, despite the fact that you know, we did have a little bit of delay thanks to running out of fuel on there. But in general, it's taken the length of time it's taken us to do 2 fields here with the Deutz and get the headland at one end sorted on this field. Taken the entire time for the Massey to do that, and over half a day, which is yeah, really interesting considering that is the bigger tractor. Now we're going to have an issue here. I'm going to have to come sort of along the edge of the field because we cannot get near that bit there. So I'm just going to bring down the edge here, and then we're going to do this headland as well. So reverse this up. Forwards, there we go, and then just finish this little bit off in here, and then we'll do these headlands. And actually, I think what we're going to do is we're running quite a long way on this video today. So I think we've covered pretty much everything we're doing today. We are in a really great position. We've got all of our fields done. I think we're going to be doing some solid fertilizing next time, getting all of these sorted. And I think we might try and use our new Fiat for that. If we can do the solid fertilizing with that, with some care wheels on, that I think would be pretty cool. And get some use out of that and get that into a thumbnail as well, which would be brilliant. But yeah, this is where we are just about covered for today on here. So I'm going to get these headlands finished off and just complete these fields. But we're in a good position where we are now very nicely seeded with all our fields. And yeah, we've got our full rotation in the ground, which is just awesome, which is absolutely brilliant. I will leave you guys here as a result. With all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.